Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. And today we're diving into one of the craziest stories to ever hit YouTube. This story is about none other than Nikocado Avocado, who just revealed that he's been pulling off one of the biggest social experiments in recent years and, apparently, fooling the entire internet. For those of you who don't know, Nikocado Avocado is a YouTuber known for his extreme eating videos, often indulging in enormous amounts of food. As he gained popularity, many noticed how his body changed over time. He gained a lot of weight, reportedly over 250 pounds. But recently, Nikocado dropped a bombshell. In one of his videos, he announced that the version of him people have seen over the last 2 years has been all part of a master plan. According to him, while the world was watching his mukbangs and weight gain, he was secretly working on something much bigger. He claims that he has actually been training, losing over 250 pounds, and that the videos we've been watching were all pre-recorded. Let that sink in for a second. We've been seeing him in his larger self, while he's been completely transforming behind the scenes. But how did this all come to be? What was the purpose? And why is this being considered a social experiment? Let's break it all down. Nikocado Avocado rose to fame for his eating videos. His mukbangs where he would eat outrageous amounts of food while talking to the camera. At first, he was relatively slim, but over time, his content seemed to revolve more around his weight gain, health issues, and emotional outbursts. And as he got bigger, the internet's reactions got crueler. People started making fun of his weight, accusing him of destroying his health for views, and treating him as more of a meme than an actual person. But here's where the plot thickens. According to Nikocado, while everyone was watching him self-destruct, he was actually 2 steps ahead of the game. He says that for the last 2 years, while he's been uploading these eating videos, he's been living a completely different life offline. That he wasn't just stuffing his face with food and sitting back, he claims. He was working hard to shed all that weight in real life, though. What were we watching? Nikocado says those were all pre-recorded videos that he carefully released over time, making it seem like he was still gaining weight. And the internet? They fell for it. During this supposed experiment, Nikocado faced heavy criticism. People took to social media, forums, and comment sections to call him out. Some even said that his eating habits were a joke and his weight was his own fault. They roasted him, made memes, and treated him as if he wasn't a real person with real feelings. But now, Nikocado says it was all part of the plan. He wanted to see how the internet would treat someone they thought was spiraling out of control. And, unfortunately, he says the results were just as harsh as expected. People were quick to judge, mock, and shame. But here's the twist. While everyone was busy hating on him, he was quietly putting in the work to turn his life around. He now claims to have lost over 250 pounds. Think about that for a moment. He not only fooled the internet into believing that he was still trapped in his unhealthy habits, but he also turned that negativity into motivation for his personal transformation. So, why do all this? Why stage this elaborate social experiment? According to Nikocado, he wanted to highlight the cruelty of internet culture. He wanted to prove that people are quick to make assumptions, to shame, and to judge, especially when it comes to people they don't truly know. He believes that his experiment exposes the darker side of the internet, showing how easily people are willing to tear someone down without knowing the full story. While people thought they were watching someone fall apart, Nikocado was actually rebuilding himself, mentally and physically. But let's be real for a second. Is this something to be admired, or was it a bit too manipulative? Some people might say, good for him. He lost weight and proved the haters wrong. But others might feel that this whole thing was a bit unethical. After all, he did play into some pretty harmful stereotypes and allowed people to think the worst of him, only to later say, "Surprise, I fooled you." Now, I want to take a step back and think about what this says about us as viewers and content consumers. Are we really that quick to judge? Did we fall into the trap of thinking we know someone just because of what we see on YouTube? In many ways, Nikocado's experiment does raise some important questions. It shines a light on how we, as viewers, interact with the people we watch online. Do we really see them as human beings? Or do we reduce them to the roles they play on our screens? It also makes you wonder about the pressures of being a content creator. Nikocado isn't the first YouTuber to face immense scrutiny. Many creators have spoken out about the toll that internet fame can take on their mental and physical health. And while Nikocado's experiment may have been extreme, it does reflect a very real issue: the dehumanization of internet personalities. At the same time, though, it's hard not to feel like this whole thing was a little calculated. Nikocado knew exactly how people would react, and he played into it. While he was busy losing weight and changing his life, the audience was left in the dark, thinking they were watching his downfall. That's a lot of emotional manipulation, and I'm not sure how I feel about that. So, at the end of the day, what do we make of this? Was Nikocado Avocado's social experiment a genius move, or was it a step too far? Did he really prove something about internet culture, or did he simply take advantage of people's assumptions? Whatever your opinion is, one thing's for sure: Nikocado has sparked a conversation that we should all think about. The way we treat people online, the assumptions we make, and the way we engage with content creators can have real consequences. So, let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you think Nikocado's social experiment was justified? Or do you think he crossed a line? And how do you feel about internet culture as a whole? Let's have a discussion about this because it's bigger than just one person. It's about how we all interact in this digital age.